Hi everyone! Bonjour à tous! This is Romy. Today I would like to show you how to make a quick and easy bedding set. Let's get to it! In the first two episodes, we have learned how to sew a duvet cover as well as a matching pillowcase. Today, I'll be showing you how to make a fitted sheet regardless of the size and the thickness of your mattress. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I will do a fitted sheet in a very small size. This way it will easily fit in the frame of the camera. But don't worry, the process is exactly the same whatever the size and shape you decide to create. So let's get started. We are going to trace the width of the mattress plus 1 cm and the length plus 1 cm. And then we form a rectangle. Now for standard adult size, we have 90 plus 1 cm and 190 plus 1 cm. Now we need to add here the thickness of the mattress, for instance 12 cm, plus the size of the fold you wish to have below the mattress, for instance 8 cm. So we have 12 plus 8 cm, that's 20. I'm repeating the same for every side. Thickness of the mattress and value of the fold below, 20 cm. And finally we add a 2 cm seam allowance all around in order to insert the elastic and make our seam. And of course we only need to cut that once. Now the easiest way to go is to cut this big rectangle first and then to cut out the corners. So the width of the rectangle in our example is 91 plus 2 times 20, and the length is 191 plus 2 times 20. So I have here my big rectangle cut in washed and ironed fabric. That's really important since new fabrics have a tendency to shrink during the first wash. Now let's cut the 4 corners. You can use tailor chalk if you're afraid to make a mistake. It goes away when you wash the fabric. I will use a simple pen since everyone has one at home. Don't worry, the marks won't be visible in the end since we'll cut them later on during this tutorial. So we place 2 marks at 20 cm from the edge and trace perpendicular lines to create and then to cut the corners. We are now going to add 4 marks with the tailor chalk or with a contrasting thread. They will guide us to insert the elastic. I place them at about 35 cm from the edge on the length of the sheet. If it looks smaller than 35 on the screen, don't forget that I'm working with a smaller scaled sheet. Here is my second mark and the other 2 here and there. Now let's place the fabric with the wrong side facing us and fold it so we can align and pin the sides right sides together. Be very precise if you want the final result to be perfect. I repeat the same operation for every corner, and when it's done we are going to sew a row of straight stitches at 15 mm from the edge. Your machine may have measurements indication to guide you, but if not, it's really easy to create your own with a colored tape. Grab the threads, make a few back stitches to start the sewing, and remove the pins as you go. Back and forth stitches at the end again to secure the sewing. Lift the presser foot and the needle and cut the threads. We need now to cut the excess fabric at 2 to 3 mm from the sewing. Be careful not to cut the stitches. When it's all done, for all 4 corners, turn the fabric inside in and start the same operation a second time, but with a row of straight stitches at 5 mm from the edge this time. To do so, I open properly the first sewing. Then I'm going to pin my side all the way. Alright, when it's pinned, let's sew at 5 mm from the edge and let's try to make it as straight as possible to get the best result. Again, you can find a visual guide to help you sew at 5 mm from the edge. For me, it's the edge of my presser foot. I align the fabric with it while sewing. The stitches are done, they are secure, and we have made the same for the other 3 corners. We're now going to insert the elastic. To begin with, I measure the length of the fabric from this mark to this mark. This is going to help us decide how much elastic is needed. Basically, we need our elastic to be shorter in order to create gathering with the fabric. Therefore, we are going to cut 1/3 of the number we just measured. So we divide it by 3 and multiply it by 2. You will be able to adjust it later depending on how stretchy the elastic you have is. And as for the width, I went for 1 cm. First, let's quickly remove the thread marks and replace them with 2 pins. Now, going from the first pin to the second, we are going to make a seam to insert the elastic. So fold the fabric at about 7 mm and then fold it another time at about 13 mm. So we are going to pin everything in place, and when you arrive at the second mark, you can stop and quickly check the width of the seam. The goal is not to be too strict, but it's important to have enough width to insert the elastic and to sew the seam. So starting here, let's make a row of straight stitches at about 2 mm from the folded edge until we reach the second mark. And of course, we'll do the same on the other side. Usually when top stitching fabric like that, I enjoy using my special presser foot, but today I will show you that you can use the regular foot of your sewing machine. So that's a little challenging for me, but let's go for it. Alright, I replaced the presser foot and placed the threads on the side. I position now my fabric and my presser foot down. The little groove on the foot will be our guide. It has to be placed perfectly aligned with the sewing that we want to make. That is, we need to place it at 2 mm from the edge. That's where the needle is going to sew our fabric. Then of course we need to be very careful to keep the groove at 2 mm from the edge while sewing. It's a visual guide that requires focus and asks for us not to sew too fast. When we reach the end, a few back and forth stitches and we are done. It's also a good habit to always cut your threads as you go, instead of having to clean everything up at the end. Alright, both sides are done. Let's now insert the elastics. So to do so, I'm going to place a safety pin at every end. The size is not relevant, but they have to be small enough to fit inside the seam. I'm going to attach the first safety pin at the beginning of my seam and insert the other one within to guide the elastic to the end. Now when the pin appears on the other side, take it out and secure it by pinning it to the fabric as well. It's time to check whether you're happy with the gathering of the fabric. If you feel that it's enough to maintain your sheet to the mattress, go ahead and quickly baste the edges of the elastic to the fabric. To do so, I remove the pin while securing the elastic with my fingers. Be careful not to let it go, it will try to fight back. And you just have to make a few stitches to hold it in place. Now insert the elastic on the other side as well, baste it quickly on both ends before bringing it to the sewing machine where it will be attached forever and ever. While sewing, maintain the elastic pulled and stretched, therefore the gathering will not be in the way of the needle. Make several back and forth stitches, the sewing has to be very strong. We can now remove the basting and finish the seams in the middle of the sheet. We just need to fold, pin and sew the fabric the same way we did before. And just because I'm addicted, I'm going to indulge in a little top stitching fun with my favorite presser foot. It's like eating chocolate or tasting a fine wine. Alright, all done. We can turn the fitted sheet inside out and bring it to the sewing board to enhance the quality of our work with a good pressing session. Trust me, it will make all the difference. Now, folding a fitted sheet is never a piece of cake, and I will take advantage of this freshly made tiny one to make another tutorial next week showing you how to fold it without burning out. In the meantime, I wish you happy sewing, and I really hope that this tutorial was helpful. I highly recommend you to have a look at the previous videos to learn how to make a duvet cover as well as a matching pillowcase. Also, leave me a little comment if you have questions or just to say hi. Subscribe to the channel to help me share my tutorials around, and join me on Instagram as well. Bye bye! À bientôt!